Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Christina if you're new here, if you're not, welcome back. But today we are doing, I don't know, is this episode 8 of Bookshelf Scavenger Hunt? So we are doing another Bookshelf Scavenger Hunt. We have newly freshly arranged bookshelves which are absolutely stunning, and I have so many books that we can choose from for this, so I'm very excited. So let's grab the questions. We are going to use the same questions as last time, so we have them on here. So the first one is my most recent 5-star read, which I don't actually know whether this has changed. I don't know when I last did one of these, but it might not have changed from last time. First of all, let's get our most recent 5-star read. So even though my most recent 5-star read was at the end of April and it is now the start of July, I've not had a 5-star read since, but we have this, which is Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith. This is one of my favourite books ever. This is the sequel to The Rose Bargain, which I absolutely love. This is like Bridgerton, Faye's. This is like Faye in Bridgerton society in London, and it's so good. It's so good. There's Faye, there's trials, there's twists, there's turns, there's romance. It's so good, and it's YA. So this was my most recent 5-star read, which was in April. Next, we are choosing a book that has a similar colour cover. So this one is very much green and gold. Green and gold. Green and yellow. We could do green and gold, green and yellow. Okay, let's see what books we have that are green. I feel like I don't actually own very many green books, yet I own green and gold. There's one that's just stuck out to me immediately. I mean, they're kind of close. We have Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is very much a green and gold cover. I read this book quite a while ago now and absolutely loved it. And I actually haven't picked up a Brandon Sanderson book since this book. And I have so many on my TBR that I want to read. Because this, everyone said, don't go into it thinking it's like a normal Brandon Sanderson book. Go in it with a cozy vibe. And it's so cozy and fun. And I actually loved this one. So that is the book we are going to go for, with a book with a similar cover. So now we are going with a book that has same tropes, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the tropes of this book very well. I know it's like there's an island, basically there are spores. The magic system is like there's spores that have different properties based on their colour, and her name is Tress, and she is from the Emerald Sea, and she's going to the Emerald Sea? No. She lives in the Emerald Sea. But then she has her friend Charlie, who she always tells stories from faraway lands. But his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride, but he never comes back, and then she's a stowaway on a ship that's taking her to the sorceress in the Midnight Sea. And it's like piratey vibe. I don't really know how to put that as tropes. And it's like cozy. Honestly, the only thing, the thing that's coming to me is like cozy pirates kind of thing, and the only thing that is coming to me is, okay, this is the one that's kind of coming to me with like similar tropes. This is again a cozy fantasy, and she is a witch and he's a pirate, and they are trying to find the same treasure, but like it's not really similar tropes, but it's pirates and it's cozy. So that I don't know what else to go for, to be honest with you. And there's a romance in there, and there's a romance in this. I don't know. I'm just going to go with this. This is The League of Gentlemen and Witches by India Holton. These are so cute, cozy, fun books to read. Okay, our next one is a book that has opposite tropes. Well, I remember them being like rivals. They didn't like each other. No pirates. Yeah, so in this book, pirates and witches are sworn enemies. So, and it says here, The Princess Bride meets Jane Austen. So we just don't want an enemies to lovers, and we don't want cozy, and we don't want witches, and we don't want pirates. Basically, okay. No witches, no pirates, no enemies, no cozy. Would it be a cop-out if I went with a romance that's not any, like, do you know what I mean? Because there's not going to be witches, pirates in that, is there? A bit rogue for me to go to for Heartstopper? Maybe. But this is not enemies to lovers. It's not got witches, it's not got pirates, there's not trials. There's not... I mean, it's a school where two boys find each other and it's like a coming of age friend group vibe. And it's a graphic novel. So, I mean, it's definitely opposite. I honestly don't know what else to go for. It's too hot. My brain's not working properly. Let's go with Heartstopper Volume 1. This is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I love this series. The final book just came out recently and I binged it in one sitting. So good. Anyway, the next one is a book that has a similar page count. So this particular volume is 263 pages. So we need a very, very short book, which I don't own very many short books, but we need a very short book. Okay. I could do like a bind up of novellas. How many pages is this one? Oh no, that's way too short. 250. Okay, we do have a book that's 250 pages. So we're a little bit off, but I feel like this is probably the closest we're going to get. This is Ricochet by Krista McRitchie. This is the second book in the Addicted Cannabis series or the Addicted series. It's still the second book. This is kind of a novella, but this follows Lily's journey while Lo is in rehab. So let's go with Ricochet. I don't know how. Okay. So now we need to find a book that has a same word in the title or in the first sentence. Well, the only word in this title was Ricochet, and I know I don't have a book that has that in. So let's go with the first sentence, which isn't very helpful either. The first sentence is literally, I effed up. Maybe I have a book that has up. I have a book that's up in the title. Hold on. We have Caught Up, which the first sentence of Ricochet is I effed up, and we have Caught Up, so we can do this. Okay, let's go with Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford. So now we need to find the book that we're going to read. Now our final prompt to choose what book we're going to read is find an author's name that has the same letters as this author. So we are looking for an L or a T as our author's name, if that makes sense. So we could do another book by Liz Tom Ford, which I do have, or we could do a book with an author's name that begins with an L or a T. So let's see what we could probably do. I'm going to try and find 3 options, but I do know I do have a book which is written by the same author, so that could be an option that we could go for. Okay, so I've chosen 3 options, and like I said, we did have a book by Liz Tom Ford. One, it's on my July TBR, so it would make sense to read this. But this is In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford, which is obviously the same author as Caught Up. But this is Emmett and Reese's book. So Emmett is the baseball coach in Caught Up. So we are getting his story with Reese, who is now the owner of the baseball team. I'm very, very excited to read this. Don't know why I've been putting it off since I finished that series in May, but this is why. It's on my July TBR, so we could go for this. Or, I did have quite a few options, which I didn't realise I had, but I did pick 2 other options here. So we could do Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I read the Rebel Bee Ranch series last year and absolutely loved it. Like, 2 out of 4 of those books were 5-star reads for me. And so we could do Soul Searching because I know there is a second book in this series coming out soon and I do want to read this. And then the other option is Live Ranch Love by Emma Lucy. This, I've seen a lot of people talk about it and I picked it up. This is probably one of the most recent additions on my TBR, but I know that this author is going to Readers and Rebels next year. So I thought maybe we could read this. I want to read her books before I go, but we do have quite a while before that. So I think, honestly, maybe we should just go with the one that, I mean, the letters match amazingly because it's the same author, but obviously it is on my July TBR and I need to get through my July TBR. So let's read In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford. So like I said, this is a spin-off from the Windy City series. So I read the Windy City series back in May. I read the entire 5 books in May and absolutely loved them all. I think my favourite was Rewind It Back, which is the 5th and final one. And that was a 4.5, but I really, none of them were lower than a 4 stars. I loved them all. And this is the spin-off of the baseball coach in that series, and Reese, who is the granddaughter of the team owner in that series. So she is the granddaughter that is now taken over the baseball team, and he is still the coach, and we still have the same characters. This is her first year, and she is going to be trying to navigate being a woman in the field, because everyone knows it's not an easy job, whilst also being a woman that is now owning a baseball team and going through all of them struggles. So I'm very, very excited. I did actually start this the other day, but I just didn't pick it up anymore, and I wasn't currently reading anything. I was really hoping maybe we could pick this up in a video, and it just so happened that it worked for this one. So let's go with In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford, which is a spin-off book from the Windy City series. I feel like I'm really, really bad at updating whenever I do like reading one book, because I end up just reading it. I am currently on page 304, which is chapter 31, which is about 68% of the way through In Her Own League. I'm really enjoying it. I very much feel the same about this book as I do the other books in the series, which is like they're a fun time. Am I gonna probably reread them? Probably not. But they're a fun time and I enjoy reading them, and I enjoy Liz Tom Ford's writing. So I think I already spoke about like how this book kind of starts. But yeah, we're following our main girl, Reese, and she is the new owner of the baseball team, and the love interest is Emmett, who is the coach, and we are finally kind of at the point that they know they have feelings for each other. They've hooked up a couple of times, but they're still like, I don't know whether we should do this, but he has been very thing, and he's like, I wasn't lying when I told you to fire me, just fire me, because I don't know how to do this any other way. And she's like, I'm not firing you, and he's like, but like otherwise we can't. So I don't know where we're gonna go from here. Obviously it would be wrong for her to fire him, because the last thing she wants to do is fire him, but he would never go to another team because his family lived there, and he'd just go into like college baseball rather than staying at obviously the professional level that he coaches. And yeah, it's a whole thing. But I'm on chapter 31, which means, so I'm on page 304 of the book, which this book is 440. So we have about 136 pages left. I'm going to read a little bit now before I go to sleep, and I'll probably end up finishing it off tomorrow, which honestly sounds good to me. But yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I've definitely read quite a bit of this today. So I mean, we will just see how we end up going. I'll probably only read like a chapter or two tonight because it is literally 25 past 10. But we'll see how well I end up going to sleep, because one, we're currently in another heat wave in the UK. We are currently getting these like every other week at the moment. Okay, obviously it's now the next day, and this morning before I went to work I did end up finishing off In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford, which I said I probably would. I ended up reading quite a bit more last night than I thought I would. I think I got to like, honestly, I think it was like 83%. I was like, okay, I either finish this tonight or I go to bed now and I finish it when I wake up, and that's what I did. I really enjoyed this. It's solid 4-star, like I was saying yesterday. I enjoy these books, they're fun, they're palette cleansers, they're easy for me to read in between reading so many fantasy books or just typically wanting to read a romance, and this was exactly what I wanted. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I always enjoy, for instance, like Liz Tom Ford's books, as well as like, it's like Chelsea Curso, who it is women in male dominant things. Like obviously she gets a lot of slack in this book because she is a woman who owns a baseball team. And it is a theme like in Caught Up or Play Along. It might be Play Along. Kennedy, our main girl in that, she is a sports therapist and she gets a lot of slack because of what she does and because she is a woman. So yeah, I don't know, I do love seeing that in books. I think it's very refreshing to get, but I really enjoyed this, and I would definitely recommend reading the Windy City series and reading this book. Like I said, obviously this is a Windy City spin-off, so this does follow a character that we meet in the other books, and also you do see all the characters apart from like the hockey guys. You don't see like Sanders and Stevie. Yeah, 4 stars. I really enjoyed, and I'm really happy that I finally got around to reading it, especially that I read the Windy City series back in May and we're in July, and I thought I was going to probably read this in May with the other books in the series. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, maybe if you're struggling to choose what book you want to read, you can use these prompts and try and find what you want to read for yourself as well. But I always find it fun because sometimes you just don't know what you're in the mood for, and this really helps me kind of decide what I'm going to read. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!